What's up, ladies? I'm back with another video to help you make better decisions in your relationships. And today I wanted to answer the question, is dating really a competition? And the simple answer to that question is yes, but it's more complex than that. The first part I like to speak about is the external competition that is going on. That's the competition that we have with the other people who are around us, the other women essentially that are going to be competing for certain types of men. Because in a way, it doesn't really have to be a competition, but naturally, the way we're wired, it ends up being a competition. And here's why that is. Because there's plenty of homeless men all across the world that you could just go out. If you have a home right now and a car, you could go out and pick up a homeless man, and he'll be more than happy to live with you and stay with you and use your resources, your money, and eat up all your food and everything else that comes along with having a wife or a girlfriend. But you don't want to do that, right? Because of how you see yourself as quote unquote out of his league. So he may be interested in you, but you're not going to be interested in him. Now, let's compare that to another guy who is more your type, more in your social class, who has a decent job and a decent career, has a decent car, has a decent education. The homeless guy loses the competition to the middle class educated person. And why is that? Because while we see ourselves as out of the league of the homeless person, we see ourselves as more of a match for someone of our education level and our accomplishment level. So in this case, the middle class guy wins the competition for that girl. But it's way more complicated than that. Because when you say a competition, there has to be a winner and a loser. So in this circumstance, you would see the middle class, well educated guy as the winner, and you would see the homeless guy as a loser. But that's not necessarily the case. The homeless man is only a loser because of his expectations. He decided that he was going to go after a woman who put a lot more work into herself than he put into himself. So it's only natural that the woman is going to want to be with someone who's put in the equal amount of work in themselves that she has. But there doesn't necessarily have to be a loser in this circumstance, because while there is an unspoken competition going on between males and females in trying to find mates, the real competition comes down to the competition we have with ourselves. It's the competition with ourselves of how much work are we willing to put in for the mate that we want to attract. The female in this situation wanting to date the man that's of her education level and who's put in the same amount of work that she has is very normal. And there's nothing wrong with her preferring this man over the homeless man. The homeless man wanting to date someone who's put in more work into themselves than he has is actually the problem. So if he lowers his expectation to the amount of work that he has personally put in at this point in time, then he'd be trying to get with another homeless woman. And that's very reasonable and more probable. And this dynamic is going on at all levels of society, from billionaire down to the homeless person. Why is it that most Hollywood type famous people only date other Hollywood famous people? It's because of how they see themselves and what they value and how much work they've put in to get where they're at. Typically, they're only interested in other people who reflect the amount of work that they have also invested into themselves. People who have college degrees typically date other people who have also graduated college. Why is that? Because people who have put in work are looking for people who have also put in that same work. People want to date their reflection. People want to marry and start lives and fall in love with their reflection. Kind of narcissistic? I don't know. Maybe. But it's a dynamic that's going on with all of us. And maybe it may sound a little harsh, but the reason why I think it's important to understand this, as harsh as it may be, is because it's the truth. It's reality. And forming the incorrect expectations of yourself and incorrect expectations of others is what keeps so many people single and apart from being with the person that would truly make them happy and truly complete them. And expectations are one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, why you are unable to find the relationships that you're truly after. And it's something that everyone has to do internally for themselves because we all truly want different things. So you cannot value or base what you want on what you see others having, because some person out there is going to want a man who's extremely ambitious, works at a Fortune 500 company, makes multiple six figures a year, and that's gonna fulfill them truly. They're gonna enjoy that lifestyle. Maybe they have to be more flexible with their time because that person's always working, but they don't mind. They enjoy that lifestyle. While someone else may see that and say that they want that, but truly, if they got in touch with who they are, they rather have the man who works a less job, but also has more time to spend with them. And none of us get to have it all. So it really comes down to making a choice based on what you truly want. Because in this situation, you can have the man that has a lot of money but a little time. Or on the other hand, you can have the man that has less money but has a lot of time. But you have to ask yourself, which one of these situations is going to make me most happy and most fulfilled? And there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know what, I don't want to make a decision. I want both. I want the man that has a lot of money and a lot of time. There are men out there that have that, but they're few. Those are the few men that have that, that have created that in their lives. So the probability that you're going to be able to attract a man like that goes down significantly. Impossible? No. But understand that that path is going to be a lot harder and more difficult, and you're going to have to bring a lot more to the table yourself if you're after a man like that. And this is really what it comes down to, expectations. Because a man like that has options. And this is where it goes back to the competition. So now we're in a competition for that man's attention. That man has options. That man brings a lot to the table. So if we want to attract a man like that, we're going to have to bring so much to the table to make him choose us over these other women. So is that the path that we really want to choose? I don't know. That's the question you really have to ask for yourself, honestly, because that's a tough path that where we have to bring a lot to the table. Would we really be more happy with a man who maybe makes a lot of money but doesn't have that much time? Or would we be more happy with a man who makes maybe less money but has a lot of time to invest into us? And I personally have no judgment for the person who wants either one of these things. I just want to help you understand what the path is going to look like when you make certain choices. I want to help you organize your internal world so that when you make a choice and you say, I want this in life, that you understand what that's going to entail. Because dating and finding a mate is definitely a competition, an external competition, and the more important, internal competition with yourself, evaluating your expectations. Because in a competition, you're trying to get to a goal. And it's really hard to reach that goal when you're making decisions that are contradictory to the ending that you're trying to get to. And you can rectify the situation in multiple ways. Either you have to make the externals match what you want, or you have to change what you want on the internal. If you want a certain kind of man, you may have to change your externals to match what he's going to find attractive. Or you can go inside your own mind and say, you know what, maybe this here isn't really what I want. So what I'm able to attract currently is just fine with me, because then there's nothing you have to change. What you had to change was your internal world. Externally, there's nothing for you to do. Or maybe you don't have to change your internal world. You can keep wanting what you want. You just have to change your external actions to match that. And the people that do this are well on their way to getting what they desire. And the people who don't, those are the people who stay single and bitter and never get what they were after. They just live in a land of fantasy in their mind because what they desire doesn't match up with reality. And when what you desire matches up with reality, it comes true. So that's my video on how dating is a competition. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And this video was more difficult to make because truly we want what we want. And we really don't want to have to do the work to change in order to get what we want. But that's the only way that we're truly going to reach our goals or get the things that we desire. And that's truly what I want for the people who come across this video, because I see it time and time and time again. One of the biggest things that keep people away from the relationships they want is their expectations. So like the video if you liked it. You can subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. If you'd like to follow me on a daily basis, you can follow my Instagram, which I will link down below. I really hope you girls enjoyed the video and it was helpful. And other than that, I'll see y'all in the next one.